All right, I'm here with Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, and we kind of kicked around the idea of doing a State of Oakland sports story when you did the State of the City. Obviously, the city is far more important than worrying about all the sports minutia, but you know, this is fun too. So something happened just yesterday. Yes. The City Council recommended a resolution affirming support for basically the Howard Terminal Ballpark in Oakland. What exactly does that mean, though? I tried to explain it in a video, and it might be better coming from you, actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I mean, it's again, you know, we are constantly hearing from whether it's the commissioner or whether it's John Fisher and his team or Dave Cavill that, oh, well, we never had a proposal, you know, there's all this political barriers in place in the city of Oakland. And we wanted to show the fans and show the owners who are actually taking a vote on a possible relocation, that that's absolutely not true. And that we are still in this moment, we have the political will to move this item forward because we truly believe that the A's belong here in the city of Oakland.
Yeah, now one thing I've noticed covering this process closely, the city has to show their work every step of the way, detailed. The A's don't really have to show their work so much. So entering this stuff into record, I know it's all out there. You went to Seattle, you handed it to the commissioner, but putting this on record, what does that do for you?
You know, what it does is that, again, it reaffirms, and we want to be transparent. Not only with the ownerships that will be making the decision, not only with the commissioner, but also with our fan base and with our constituency, to really show them that actually we have, you know, committed every single step of the way, including getting more funding for the Oakland A's, and they even asked for it. That's over $400 million, right? And get this part, Casey. Over $400 million is what the grant funding that we were able to actually confirm for this investment, and yet this is more than what John Fisher has ever invested into the team the whole time that they were here.
Yes, that is a good point. You could sign a lot of free agents with that money that you guys raised. Over $400 million, we'll get back to that in a moment, but I want to touch on this Tuesday, because if this resolution is voted on, and I'd hope it gets unanimous support, but it's hard to get unanimous support on anything these days. For me, I don't know that it really like saves the team or does any firm action, but what it does do, and I think it's very important, is it gives A's fans a platform to show up on Tuesday. It gives people an opportunity to make their voice heard. When the season ends, they kind of lose their voice and platform. They can't do anything to get Major League Baseball's attention. Is this a good opportunity for, you know, the people that care so much, the fans that are fighting for this, you who are fighting for this, the Port who still wants Howard Terminal done as a baseball stadium? Does this give you guys an opportunity at least to just make some noise, to say something, to speak out one last time before a potential vote?
Absolutely. And, you know, like I've stated, we're going to fight for our Oakland A's. Again, if Las Vegas deserves a team, an expansion team, but with the Oakland A's, they need to remain here in the city of Oakland. You know, with the passing of the legislation on Tuesday, you know, we're really excited that that is a platform for fans to come out and really show their support. But not just that, but again, the confirmation from the electeds themselves, the ones who are making the decisions, right? Saying like, yes, we agree that the A's belong here in the city of Oakland. We have, you know, the Howard Terminal, but if they decide like, look, we don't want this grandiose plan anymore with, you know, condos and businesses and the ballpark, we have that other option too, where it's just the ballpark.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's so many different ways that we can look at this, and we're ready to actually reach a solution. And we're just calling upon John Fisher to say, are you also ready for a solution? Because it doesn't look so solidified in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's a lot up in the air in Las Vegas, and you know, we can jump to the relocation vote. I don't know how they vote on something when they don't have an actual rendering of the ballpark, a design architect. They have no idea how they're going to finance it. They have no idea how much it's even going to cost. They don't know if there's going to be a referendum. There's a lot of things they don't know. Knowing that, has anyone from the relocation committee even reached out to the city of Oakland to say, hey, what's going on over there? Because I would think if you're a committee studying relocation, wouldn't you need to have all the information that Oakland has presented and Las Vegas? I mean, has anybody from this committee even reached out?
Well, not that I have actually known about. You know, they definitely didn't reach out to me. And at the end of the day, I would hope that because this has been so public, right, we have shown all of our work and what we have worked on, you know, what we can offer in regards to the infrastructure costs and what have you. And so it's out there in the public, and I would just hope that because they're not calling us, is that they actually have reviewed it themselves already. However, I will tell you that that's not good enough for me. And so, you know, it is my job, and I will continue to do this, is call upon the owners to really say, look at the work in Oakland. This is not good business in general, because yes, to your point, I mean, the plans are not fleshed out, the financials are not fleshed out, a strong possibility of a referendum. I think we heard from the commissioner through his own words that there's a little shakiness and nervousness there. And when you can just continue to have the conversation, come back to the decision-making table with Oakland, and we are already almost there. Like, why start? In Las Vegas, they are literally at the start line.
Yeah, they don't even have an image. They don't even know what it's going to look like at this point.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they can come back to the drawing board with us, and it could be a win-win-win on all sides. This is just great business for the owners that are involved with MLB. This is great for MLBs themselves, because of, you know, I know that they really hold themselves to a high standard around making sure that they're expanding their fan base. And I mean, we've all seen Oakland A's fans here.
They care a lot.
They care a lot. They care a lot, and it travels down generationally. And so, I mean, and we saw that, you know, also with the reverse boycott, how we continuously turn out fans. And so, with all that being said, it just makes more sense in regards to the business aspect that the Oakland A's remain here with John Fisher as the owner, or with a new owner. Yeah,
I mean, A's fans, I think if you give them a reason to show up, they will show up. And I know that there's a lot cooking in the background too, with owner outreach, with the relocation committee outreach. Can you tell me a little bit about this? I know I've been hearing a lot about it, but we haven't talked about it officially, and maybe you're not ready to talk about it yet, but what is happening to help reach out to these owners?
Well, you know, we are working in collaboration with the Oakland A's fans too. I tell you, this is the most government and outside fan base work that I think any entity has ever seen this kind of partnership before. And so, you know, I think that there's a lot of things up our sleeves, and it's not time to yet expose what that is. Soon, but you will see, you know, just like the legislation is moving forward, you know, you'll also see that the port is still very much involved, and is still very much in partnership with the vision from the city as well too, to keep the A's here. Yeah,
so there will be outreach to these owners very soon. I keep hearing
absolutely.
A lot about it. I guess it's not ready to come out just yet. We'll tell you about it soon. You know, I think with this thing that could happen on Tuesday, a vote, at least what it does is it takes, you know, you, the city council, the port, everybody together saying, hey, we still want to do something. And I think that's a good solidified front. And maybe that will help send a message to Major League Baseball. I wanted to make that point because I just think it's really interesting to see. You know, sometimes it has felt at times, before you were in office, you were in the city council, you saw it. It was like sometimes the mayor's office wanted one thing, the city council wanted something else. It feels like you guys are in a lot more lockstep right now. Do you get that sense?
Oh, yes, about everything, actually. You know, anybody will tell you that here in the city of Oakland, it has been for many, many years where the council didn't really see eye to eye with the vision of the mayor's office and vice versa. But that isn't the case with this new council and with my administration. We actually diligently work closely in an intentional way with our council members so that there is buy-in for big issue areas that we actually have to make a decision on that impacts the city, just not today, tomorrow, but for many, many years to come. And so we do have that kind of solidified block. We are doing great work with the port as well too. And so I can tell you here in this moment that we do have a solidified, strong you know, sense that we want the Oakland A's here. We have the political will. Getting to unanimous is very difficult. I can tell you that.
Put that pressure on.
Yes. However, I want to remind folks too that it was not a unanimous vote in Las Vegas. All you need is, you know, the number of votes to get something passed, and that would show the strong political will.
That's a good point. Absolutely. And you talked about the years to come. Something that I keep thinking about, and I can't stop thinking about, is 2024, the A's have a lease to play at the Coliseum through next season. After that, it's over.
That's right.
But the A's also have a very lucrative TV deal they're making over $60 million a year to play in the Bay Area. And if they leave, that goes out the window. So what kind of conversations, if any, have you had with them about staying at the Coliseum, and what can you do to leverage that? Because they're going to need to stay there. So can you use that to push for expansion? Can you use that to keep the team colors? Can you do anything with that, or what are you working on?
Well, I
with
can
that?
tell you right now that I am not interested in a one-way street decision-making process. And so what that means is that if they want to keep that facility, moving forward just in the interim for whatever decisions they make, that there needs to come, with making sure that Oakland is made whole in some kind of way, whether it be an expansion team or, or something else. And so it's not about us, saying, oh, sure, just play there because we say yes, because we're, no, it's not going to be just that. We're demanding for some stuff to be given to the city of Oakland, to the fan base as well too. And so we'll get into more of that, of the details of that, but definitely a requirement around expansion team, a possibility of expansion team, and having that conversation is going to be key to the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Major League Baseball values diversity. Oakland checks that box. I know that Major League Baseball values money. Oakland can check that box too, especially if you get a new owner, and I'm not going to make you say that. That's just my opinion. And I know that if they can expand and expand quickly, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars in every single owner's pocket. So why would they waive a relocation fee when they can get a deal done here and expand to Vegas?
That's exactly right. I mean, I'm not the best at math, I tell you.
I'm not either.
But what I can tell you is that it only makes sense that when the city of Oakland is fighting so hard to keep the Oakland A's here and rooted here, that it makes sense to keep them here and expand in Las Vegas. That makes more sense for all of the owners a part of MLB. It makes sense for MLB itself, right? And it truly holds them to their values of, creating that more diverse fan base, right? I mean, you stay here in Oakland and you go to Vegas and expand, and you have another fan base. You're also taking up space in a market industry where you're making millions of dollars, as you stated. And so to me, it only makes sense. And the other way around, I don't know how it adds up.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The math is not mathing.
No, that's one way to put it. I want to touch on this. If we're doing the state of Oakland sports, let's talk a little bit about the Oakland Roots, because they just closed a wildly successful investment round. They raised over $3 million, community investments. You had all kinds of stars coming on board. What can be done for them? What are the holdups to get them to have a stadium in Oakland? I know they want to build either a modular temporary home, or maybe there's some option for them to play at the Coliseum if the A's do leave. I mean, what is happening with that, and where are the pressure points at this point to make sure this thing happens?
Yeah, we are very committed to keeping the Oakland Roots here in the city of Oakland. And so a lot of that has to do with partnerships with the county, making sure we're all on the same page. Obviously, the Coliseum is a little tricky in the sense that we're in an ENA right now with ASCG on our half of the property. Of course, the A's is paying down their debt to the county for their half of the property. And so it's really, to be honest with you, it's having the A's or John Fisher step up, because he's the half owner, and really trying to figure out what we're going to do with the Coliseum site. But with the Oakland Roots, we're going to find them a home. I am determined to make sure that we are keeping the Oakland Roots here. I am the mayor at the earlier phase, so I do believe that we can get all of that solidified and done for them.
You have time to sink your teeth into that one.
That's
And I know
right.
2025, they really want to get something done. By then, in Oakland, 2025, maybe the A's will be here, maybe not. Maybe they'll extend the lease. Who knows? I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's such a mess right now between
It really is.
the city's owned half and then the county / Fisher owned half. I just don't know how you navigate that. You have a tough job.
We do have a tough job, but we don't do the work on our own. And so I think that so long as we have strong communication around, and not just that, but the strategy behind how do we get to our ultimate goal. Of course, can't tell you the strategy, okay, Casey?
I'll find out eventually. Don't worry, I will. Yeah.
You will. But those are all the moving parts and the moving targets that we're all working through and working around. And so, so some of the pressure points, the main pressure points are those partnerships, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and we got to bring all the cooks to the table to make sure that, we could somehow get to a similar commonality in regards to how we move forward.
I do this off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. But is there anything else, any other messages you want to leave? I mean, this may be the last time we sit down before the owners actually take a relocation vote. And Again, I don't know how they can take that vote without any information, but we'll see. They seem determined to do it. So is there any, message, anything you want to leave for people? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
critical right now.
It really is. And I just implore any of the owners, who have any questions about what is happening here in the city of Oakland. I'm a really straightforward person. Please give us a call. Give my office a call. Give me a call. I'm open and willing to answer any questions that, any of the owners have. I truly believe that it's a better business deal. It's a better community deal to make sure that the Oakland A stay here in the city of Oakland with the new owner or with the current owner and expanding to Las Vegas. Again, we've worked really hard to get the infrastructure funding, and this shows already a huge investment on the city side. But if there are any questions, and there should be a lot of questions from the owners, they really should call me up, and I welcome that call. And it'll be done in private too.
Yeah, and you've been very clear about that, and I've always asked and tried to pry about what you and John Fisher have talked about. You never tell me, so it will be done in private, I guarantee that. And I know that at some point there will be some outreach to these owners too. So hopefully we'll see some more things shaken in the next couple days. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Casey.